There's a lot of great shooters in college basketball, but the guy we're going to talk about in today's video is hands down the best shooter in the country. Meet John Petty. If you haven't heard about him just yet, don't worry, you will in the future because he is rising up draft boards. Going into the season, some people said he may not even be drafted, but now people are saying he's going to be a first rounder. And for him to get to where he's at today, he has a unique story, so without further ado, let's dive straight into it. To start things off, you already know we gotta throw it all the way back to where things started. John Petty grew up in Huntsville, Alabama, and that's where he played most of his high school basketball at. All throughout his high school career, he was regarded as one of the best players in the country, and he started out as a 5-star recruit, but when it was all said and done, they bumped him down to a 4-star, which really doesn't matter. For his recruiting process, he narrowed it down to 2 schools, Kentucky and Alabama. Although at the time, some people thought if he wanted to get to the NBA very quickly, he should have chose Kentucky, but it's looking like this was the best route for him. Coming into Alabama as a freshman, he was expected to produce right away because he was coming in with the other 5-star recruit known as Colin Sexton. And let's just say Petty was good as advertised. In 36 games played for Alabama in 2017, he started 29 of them and averaged over 10 points per game. What he was most known for was his 3-point shooting ability because he had a game with 10 threes. For the year, he shot 40% from the field and 37% behind the arc. And as a freshman, that's remarkable. Flash forward in time to the next year, he had the sophomore slump. I guess calling it a slump would be a stretch because he didn't have a bad year, it just wasn't as good as his freshman year. He only started half of the games for this team and his 3-point percentage went down. Even though it went down, it was still above 34%, which is good. And once again, in back-to-back seasons, he averaged 10.2 points per game exactly. There's really not too much to say about his sophomore year because it was just mediocre. Going into his junior year though, a lot of people said if he has a good season, he could go to the NBA. He started most games for Alabama and was arguably the best player on this team. He shot 46% from the field and a whopping 44% from deep. Shooting 44% from the 3-point line is insanely efficient. And here's the thing I need to touch on too, and we'll talk about later in this video. It's not like he's shooting 1 to 2 a game. This guy's shooting 5 to 6 a game. When it was all said and done for his season, he improved all of his stats. He brought his rebounds up to 6.6 and finished with 14.5 points per game. That was last year. That was the 2019-20 season. And some people thought he was good enough to go to the NBA draft. Some people said he was going to be a late 2nd round pick, so it'd be a toss-up. Surprisingly, he kind of shocked everyone and put his name in the draft, but he pulled it out last minute. So you get where I'm going. He came back for his senior season, which is currently right now. And he is lighting it up once again behind the 3-point line. Not only the 3-point line, but the overall field. He's shooting almost 50% from the field, 43% behind the 3-point line, and he's averaging 14.5 points per game. I understand his 3-point percentage is down from the previous year, but one crazy fact to throw in there is that he really struggled at the beginning of this season. He was so poor just for his standards, there was even articles being written about how he's not a good shooter. Those articles were complete BS and mind-boggling because if you know anything about basketball or have watched this guy play, if you're going to say anything about him, it's got to be that he can shoot the 3 ball. So for his 4 years so far at Alabama, he shot 37%, 35%, 44%, and 42%. Not too bad if you have to ask me. Almost any other player would take his lowest 3-point percentage. Also, like I said earlier, it's not like he's only shooting 1 to 2 a game. Listen to how many he shot. In his freshman year, he shot 242 threes. In his sophomore year, he shot 171. In his junior year, he shot 193. And so far for his senior season, he shot 92. So he's shooting roughly 4 to 5 threes a game, give or take. I was really going to hold off and probably not even make this video, but after what I saw last night, I had to. I know what you're sitting there wondering. Yo Matt, what are you talking about? Well, I'm gonna get into it. Last night, Alabama, who's ranked 18th in the country, played LSU on the road, and this was a big game. LSU came in at 10-2, Alabama came in at 11-3, so both teams are really good. This game got out of hand super fast because John Petty himself started out the game by hitting 4 straight threes in under 4 minutes. If that wasn't impressive enough for you, if you didn't see it, he started the game not only 4 for 4, but he hit his first 7. So yes, he went 7 for 7 in the first half. Hitting 4 straight threes is unbelievable, but hitting 7 straight, there's no words for that, especially at the college level. In high school, I could understand. They was putting a hand up, and the reason I think he's the best shooter in the country is because he's listed at 6'5". I think he's bigger than that, but he also jumps so high on his shot that if you do contest, he's still open. And that's why I think he's the best shooter in the country. There's a lot of great shooters, but none of them elevate like he does, and not many of them are as tall as he is. Of course, your coach is going to be on your side, and after the game, they asked Nate Oates, who is Alabama's head coach, about his performance, and he said, quote unquote, he's the best shooter in the country. For the game, he wound up with 24 points. He had 21 at half. He probably could have had 40, but in the second half, the whole starters didn't really play. Anyways, like I was saying, he had 24 points. He finished the game 8 for 10 on 3-pointers, and 8 times 3 is 24. So yes, he didn't get a 2-point basket. They were only threes. This guy literally lives by the motto that threes are worth more than 2. When I say this, I mean it. He is rising up NBA draft boards because everyone's like, yo, who is this kid? You better get used to hearing his name because I think his draft stock will continue to improve. Here's why. Number 1, he's a 6'6" roughly shooting guard, and he's made for the next level, and he's also very athletic. I don't know why he doesn't drive as much as he did in high school or the beginning of his college career, but hey, maybe there's something going on. He can drive. He's proven he can drive in many games. Against Tennessee last year, he had 39 points on the road. He's what I would like to call a very dangerous player. The reason for that is because what hurt him in his freshman through junior season is because he would have a game with 30 points, and then he'd come back and have a game with 3 points. He's very inconsistent, and NBA executives do not want inconsistent players. But now, in his senior year, he's very consistent, and you can count on him for 15 points a game. I've never seen anything like it at the college level. When he gets hot, he knows it, and everyone in the gym and everyone watching it knows it as well. He's just one of those players that you don't mind him taking a terrible shot because he can make them. Every time he shoots, it looks great and it looks like it's going in, and he has one of the best forms in the college level too. I really think it's almost safe to say he's going to be guaranteed to get drafted because the way the NBA is moving, they need shooters. This isn't coming out of my mouth. This is what the ESPN announcer said during the Bama game last night, is that he could be the next Splash Bro in the NBA. As crazy as that sounds when you think about it, it's true because he plays very similar to Klay Thompson. Like, even more similar than you think. Klay does not shoot 2-pointers and does not drive unless he has to. Here's the thing, he can, but he'd rather shoot a 3. It's the exact same thing for John Petty. Also like Klay, Petty's sneaky athletic, and I'd even say Petty's more athletic than Klay Thompson. It's kind of weird because if you're not from his home state like I am, and you didn't see him play in high school, you would think he's just a shooter, but he's way more than that. In high school, believe it or not, he was actually known as an athletic dunker, not a shooter. His game just gets better and better every year at college, and that goes to him and the coaching staff. I think Sharife Cooper is the most exciting player to watch in college basketball right now, but this guy's got to be in the top 5 or 6 in my opinion. I was trying to do my film and research, and I don't know anybody else that shoots the 3-ball better than him. Let me know in the comment section what you think down below, and if you think someone shoots better than him, let me know in the comments. But hey man, with all that being said, that's going to wrap up this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned something. If you're new to the channel, what are you doing? Join the family. Hit that subscribe button and leave a like for more. And as always, let's be great. I'm out, y'all. Peace.